deforestation, which led to soil erosion, which caused huge amounts of debris and sediment to rush downstream, blocking up the canals and reservoirs. Raging and flooding broke down the entire man-made watershed. The result? Famine in a city of as many as 1 million people.
Hang on. All right. That looks like a great way to cool off.
Yeah, the water actually comes from the Siem Reap River way down here.
Now, is this water wheel something that you guys built yourself?
No, I'm not exactly sure who built this, but in any case, it's just a hypothetical reconstruction of technology that they may have used during the Angkor period to move water from very low places up to much higher ground. It's important to remember that this is not a natural river. This is an artificial canal which was built by the Khmer people.
So this is one of those canals we saw from the helicopter.
Exactly, yeah. This is the big one that we saw from the helicopter yesterday. The important thing about this site is it shows us the difference between the water level of the river way down there and the original level way up there where we got out of the Jeep.
As the water receded, ancient technology like this could not have kept pace with the needs of the Khmer.
As you can see, not a huge amount of water actually comes out of this. These little tubes and the water that they contain obviously wouldn't have been enough to fill rice fields or the moats of temples like Angkor Wat on a regular basis.
So what we're seeing is a drastic change in the canal structure over time.
Exactly, yeah. I mean, this is just a very clear example of a river down cutting. And if you have the water down there and the rice fields and the moats that you need to feed the water into are way up there, then obviously you're going to end up in deep trouble. This is just one example of it here, but probably the clearest example of it is just up the river a little bit. We should go take a look.
Okay.
To see hard evidence of what brought down the Khmer, Damien and I jump in a boat.
It's amazing to think that all of these canals are man-made.
Yeah, it's actually difficult to imagine it when you're down here on the river. You know, once you get up there in the air, you can really see that far from being a sort of natural course, it's actually laid out in a very particular kind of way for a very particular kind of purpose.
Damien points out that this hill represents the difference between what the water level of the river once was and what it is today.
So what do we have here?
Believe it or not, this is actually a bridge. These are its arches right here.
Would this then be the bridge for the canal that we just came up from?
Exactly. 1,000 years ago, the water would have run straight down through here and passed beneath these arches onto the other side.
So we're standing on the original bed of the canal.
That's right. Increasingly, as the years went on, the water level cut down into the landscape and just basically ended up going around this bridge, meaning it was completely ineffective.
This is a drastic change.
Yeah.
Is this happening all across the empire?
It is. The thing is, when you start to get unpredictable water flows, things like flooding, too much or too little water, which starts to cause this down cutting and these diversions in the rivers, then all of a sudden you end up with extremely serious problems.
Is it fair to conclude from all of this that the Khmer could have over-engineered their empire?
I think with the evidence that's coming to hand now from excavations and from the aerial surveys, I think it really supports that conclusion. So I think what you're saying is probably a fair assessment of what actually happened here.
The widespread failure of the Khmer's complex water system also left them vulnerable to attack. Their enemy to the north, the Siamese, successfully sacked Angkor in 1431. A year later, the royal court and Khmer people abandoned this site, moving south to where Cambodia's capital of Phnom Penh is today. For 600 remarkable years, these temples were added to and adorned. With their abandonment in the mid-15th century, however, one of the world's greatest building programs came to an end. But unlike other lost civilizations that have succumbed to the jungle, the Khmer's greatest temple, Angkor Wat, held on, with the help of a very special group of people.
The truth is, this place was never fully abandoned. After Buddhism was adopted as a state religion, this site became a place of pilgrimage.
Even after the last Khmer king left, the monks stayed and arduously worked to keep the forest from swallowing this great temple. And it's through their 4 centuries of effort that Angkor Wat is still here today. For many, Angkor Wat evokes a romantic tale of a 19th century explorer stumbling upon a lost civilization. But I came here to plumb the deeper mystery, to finally understand the real story behind the rise and fall of an amazing empire. Today, the Cambodians are so proud of their legacy, they're the only country to adorn their national flag with an image of a ruin. Angkor Wat, the ultimate symbol of majesty and mystery.